Hey, what's up guys? This is Andrew Smersek with Combat Art Training. Today we're going to be talking about shooting with both eyes open and how to do it. Something a lot of people struggle with. They find it confusing, and I think it's just they're overthinking it, and I think also that if they just go to a threat focus, it will be easier. So that's kind of the key to this whole thing, is focus on the threat, not your front sight. You still see your sights clearly, but look at the threat and see that clearly. Now, why should we shoot with both eyes open? Well, we can see more. We're more aware of what's going on in the area. Also, if there's a bad guy trying to kill you, you're probably going to look at the threat. You're probably going to focus right on that guy. You're probably going to have both eyes open, and you're not going to be sitting there trying to line up everything perfectly and focus on that front sight on them, so that you have everything lined up correctly and you're looking at the correct thing. You're probably just going to look at the bad guy. That's the scary thing to your brain. Your brain wants to look at that. Now, if you have to close an eye or squint an eye to see one front sight and make that shot, that's okay. All right, but you want to get good at shooting with both eyes open. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about that stuff a little bit later, but first let's get into it with what happens when you use a front sight focus with both eyes open. When you have a front sight focus and both eyes are open, what ends up happening is that you are crossing your eyes. Now, for myself, right eye dominant, right? So my right eye will be aligned with the sights, but then off to the side, I will see another target with my left eye, right? Also, I will still see two front sights when I try to focus on the front sight. Now, I'm not an eye doctor. I don't understand everything that happens with the human eye, but I can tell you that trying to focus on the front sight with two eyes open, I still see two front sights, I see two targets, which is really confusing, and then it makes me dizzy. All right, so I find it to be a nightmare. Also, inherently with this too, people trying to see that front sight clear and trying to keep their sights aligned on the target, they'll keep looking at the front sight, then the target, then the front sight, then the target, and the front sight, and they go back and forth. And then the anticipation factor kicks in, where after they think they've got everything lined up perfectly, they end up jerking the shot because they're trying to snatch that shot right when everything is lined up. Now, your sights are never going to be perfect. You know, if it's real world and it's a bad guy, the threat's probably going to be moving. So just focus on the bad guy, focus on the threat. Also, you think about, you know, like an active shooter scenario or whatever, there's probably going to be a lot of innocent bystanders, right? And even if there's two active shooters, you're probably going to want to focus on who are the good guys and who are the bad guys, more so than what your front sight is doing in relation to your rear sight and seeing that crystal clear. Now, when you go to a threat focus with both eyes open, instead of your eyes crossing at this point right here, they're going to intersect at the target, right? So you will see two guns, two sets of sights, but if you've practiced your draw stroke a lot, you're going to have everything lined up where you want it to be as you present out to the target. Okay, like as you draw, you're looking at the target anyways, and then once the gun is out, that's when people are taught to go and focus on the front sight. So instead of going to the front sight, just stay focused on the target, and see your sights transparently on the target, right? Because we're seeing the target crystal clear, we're not focusing to see the front sight crystal clear. We're still focused on the front sight, but it's more of a soft front sight focus instead of a hard front sight focus where we see the front sight clear. So focus on the target, you can see your sights on the target. Yeah, you're going to see another gun off to the side, but it's going to be something that's going to be less confusing to your brain, because you only have one target you're looking at, and that other gun is not going to be lined up, like the sights are not going to be lined up. Now, with this too, again, if you have to close an eye to make that shot, go ahead and do that, right? If you're coming off the right side of cover and you need to close your left eye to make sure you're only using your right eye, go ahead and do that. You're going to expose less of yourself. Same thing, left side of cover, left eye, right? So coming off the left side, just using my left eye, I'm going to expose less of myself than if I were to try to use my right eye and come off the left side of cover. Also, you know, I think about it where if the perceived size of the target, right, like the target looks to be about this big, is about the same size as the perceived size of your front sight, like they both look to be about the same size, then I think you go ahead and focus on the front sight and try to keep that lined up. But I will say, like, I can hit the target out to 100 yards, keeping both eyes open, and it's also something that's going to make you faster. Again, because you think about, you know, focusing on the target, then that front sight comes up, and then you focus on that front sight, you get everything aligned, and then you probably look at the target again, and then you go back to the front sight, right? Just focus on the target the whole time. Also, to make this easier, having sights that have paint on them. If there's no paint on them, that's fine. You know, you just have kind of a transparent box going on that's lined up on the target. But if you have some paint on them, you can see that paint on there, like this. This is the Trujicon HD XR, so it has a thinner front sight. I don't like these anymore, okay? And watch Aaron Cowan's video on U-notch sights, but those sights are too small. But that paint, you can see that paint on the target, and then you just kind of treat that as like this, like a red dot, right? Where you just see the dot on the target. Same thing with these XS big dots, right? That's a bigger front sight, and when you are focusing on the target, the fact that it's bigger and you have that paint, it's easy to see that paint, that big circle on the target. So that can make it a little bit nicer too. But that's about it. I don't think there's anything I missed. Maybe something will come to me later, but maybe we'll do a follow-up video. If you have any questions on this, comment them below. If you don't have any questions, write good job, I like this video, or something down below because it'll help this video perform better. Thank you to all my students who've been coming out. Very excited to do Carry Pistol 1. Some new people tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who's been buying our gear. If this video has helped you out, go ahead, take a look at our gear. We have a new fanny pack, version 2, coming out soon, and that is the best fanny pack for carrying a gun ever. But thank you all the subscribers and everyone liking and sharing the videos. You guys are awesome. Keep fighting communism, and remember that training saves lives. This is just a video. Go take an actual training class, and it's not just about hitting the target. Alright guys, take care.